What's up, guys? Today we're going to be going over this custom enclosure I just finished up for two Kicker Q Class L715s. We got the black bed liner exterior, plexiglass windows, LEDs, kerfs on this thing. We're going to be giving you guys a view on the process that I took to build this beautiful enclosure. Alright, so we're going to start out here with this front piece. And I already did the kerfing. If you guys are interested in learning how to kerf, you can go check out my YouTube channel. I got a tutorial video up there. It's a two-part video. Right now we're cutting out these front window shapes. Went ahead and made myself a pencil layout on my actual piece. Transferred that to a wooden template I made. And then attached that to my actual piece I needed. And cut that out with the flush trim bit on the router. Now it's definitely worth the extra time it takes to make yourself a template. As you can see, I ended up with two sides that are perfectly symmetric, and it also gives you a chance on the template to make sure you can straighten any lines out that you might have cut a little bit crooked with your jigsaw. Now I've spent a lot of time on my jigsaw, but I'm definitely not perfect by any means, so I always opt to make a template, then I can refine that, then bring it to my final piece. So for the plexiglass windows on this thing, I decided to go with 6 individual windows. As you can see, I'm using my scribe tool here to trace a line around the windows, and I'm going to leave a 3/4, 7/8 overhang just as my overlap from wood to plexiglass, where I'm going to use adhesive and screws to attach them. Right here I took my tape, laid it over the whole piece where I can see my pencil lines, and then I used the pencil line to follow that with a razor blade, cut the tape out, and then I could transfer it to wood. As you can see here, we got the tape cut out on the piece of wood, and then I'm going to trace that with pencil. And that's how I'm basically going to duplicate that shape onto another piece of wood. Cut that out with my jigsaw, as you can see here. Then I'm going to take that and actually super glue it to my piece of plexiglass, and then take it over to my router table with the flush trim bit and flush trim that out. That gives us perfect shaped plexiglass pieces, and it's also a little more easily replicatable. A lot of people ask me how I attach my plexiglass windows, and really honestly the best answer is it changes and varies from box to box. This box here I decided to drill it, screw it, and secure it with silicone. The silicone really is mainly to just ensure there's an airtight seal. It does have some adhesion properties to it, but silicone is definitely not a glue by any means. So basically just a seal, and I like silicone because it remains soft. I don't believe you want something that is going to harden super hard on an air seal, because it can become brittle, especially with the vibrations you get from bass. I think it could eventually fail. I think the silicone is a much better option. So going around, silicone in this thing, screwing it in. Now I am using 1.25" coarse thread screws. They will poke out the front of this thing a little bit. I'm not too worried about that. As you can see, I already grinded them off and wood filled it. This is getting a bed liner finish. If it was getting a stain finish or something like that, I would have opted out for some 3/4 inch screws, or maybe some 1 inch screws most likely. So the plexiglass thickness on here is 1/2 inch with the 1.25" screw. Just barely the tip of that thing popped through, but not a worry at all. Put some wood filler on there, we'll breeze right past. Now that we're started with the construction of this thing, I always start with my back panel first, then do kind of my port wall. Now what you see there is a bead of glue. Now that's not from the excess squeeze out. There is some squeeze out that I always spread out, but I like to put another bead in the corner of my pieces, kind of spread it out, kind of like caulking, just so it looks a little better in the end. And I do believe it'll help not only keep the two panels attached, but it'll create a seal of sorts as well. Now we're moving quickly along here in the assembly process, put all those pieces together. Now I don't work on Kicker too much, so I had to make some templates of the cutouts, which that is like the most difficult part about working with Kicker subs, is the square cutouts. And I honestly have probably only built a handful of Kicker enclosures. Not because I have not wanted to, simply because it seems like my customer base doesn't really want Kicker enclosures. But this one, I am very happy with how this turned out. Even with the square holes that sometimes can look a little weird to me. So we basically got this thing fully assembled. Now we got this thing taped off. Making sure we tape off the windows. We're going to block that port, block them sub holes. On the back, we're going to block off that terminal cup as well. We want to leave the bare wood finish on the inside nice and clean. As you've seen in the process while we were building it, we made sure it was nice and clean. Not a lot of excess glue running everywhere. With the inside being clean, because you have the windows, you don't want to have any overspray from your bed liner, so you make sure you tape that off really well. A little bit of a reveal here. The bed liner bare wood combo definitely looks really nice in my opinion. Just the two-tone color difference. Really a super fan of that. I don't know about you guys, but taking the tape off of finished product is the most rewarding process of the entire project, in my opinion. Just to finally get to peel it back and step away and take a look at your beautiful work you just did. This box definitely turned out really nice. Like I said, I don't build a lot of stuff for Kicker, but I'm definitely a fan of this enclosure here. That bare wood bed liner finish combination looks really good. We got the Custom Lowe's logo on the front. We went ahead and did a 3/4 inch flush mat on this thing. Definitely a very strong enclosure. You got the window brace in there, which also matches that front window. We got a kerf port, a kerf on the front side of this thing. On the interior, we got 45 braces to make sure this thing's nice and strong. We got them plexiglass windows screwed in there and secured with silicone. Make sure there's a nice airtight seal. Definitely a super nice finish on this thing. Then we went ahead and added some multicolor LEDs on this thing on the inside, which definitely is a nice finishing touch. This was definitely a fun project. If you guys are interested in getting anything made for yourselves, make sure you contact me. Go to our website, www.customlowe's.com, or send us an email, customlowe's@yahoo.com, and we'll get back with you. We'll do custom enclosures of any sort, any vehicle. Send us a message, and we'd love to work for you. Love to get you a sweet enclosure like this one.